The money comes in. For a moment, the number on the screen looks like breathing room. And then, somehow, it's gone. Not on anything you can point to, a little here, a little there, a coffee, a thing you forgot you signed up for, a night you didn't plan. And by the end of the month, you're back where you started, thinking the same thought. This is the month it's different. You'll save this time, you mean it. And then the month happens, and the resolution quietly dissolves, the way it always does. So you arrive at the question that's been following you for years. What is wrong with you? Why can everyone else hold on to money while it runs straight through your fingers? And what if the answer is that nothing is wrong with you at all? That your brain is running ancient survival software in a world it was never built for? This is Pondara, things you never thought to wonder about. And if that opening felt less like a description and more like being read your own bank statement, hear this clearly. You are not bad with money. You are not weak or lazy or lacking some willpower gene everyone else was born with. The truth is stranger and kinder. The brain you're carrying was shaped over millions of years to survive scarcity, to grab the reward in front of you and to fear loss more than it craved gain. That wiring kept your ancestors alive. And in a modern economy of abstract numbers and quiet compounding, that same wiring quietly, faithfully keeps you broke. To see how, we have to start with the explanation you've already accepted. The one that blames you. You're just bad with money. You have no self-control. If you really wanted to save, you would. That's the story, that somewhere out there are disciplined people with stronger willpower, and you simply aren't one of them. It's the story behind every failed budget, every quiet flush of shame when the money's gone again. And it feels true because it puts you in charge, which means it's your fault. But willpower isn't the lever here. The decisions that drain you aren't really decisions at all. They're automatic responses running underneath you in a brain that's doing exactly what it evolved to do. And once you see the machinery, the shame starts to look misplaced. So let's look at it, one mechanism at a time. Start with the strangest finding of all. Being short of money doesn't just empty your account, it changes how your mind works. In 2013, a team led by Anandi Mani and Senthil Mullainathan published a study in the journal Science. They found that when people are preoccupied with money trouble, it consumes part of their mental bandwidth, like a computer running a heavy program in the background, leaving less for everything else. The effect was so large, it was equivalent to dropping around 13 points of IQ. Scarcity captures the mind. And that's the cruel first loop. Being broke makes it harder to think your way out of being broke. Now layer on the second mechanism, and it explains why saving feels almost painful. Your brain massively overvalues right now. An economist named David Laibson described this as hyperbolic discounting. The mind treats a reward today as enormously more valuable than the same reward later, and the value drops off a cliff the moment you move it even slightly away from now. To the part of your brain making the call, £100 today doesn't just beat 110 next month, it towers over it. So saving isn't experienced as a smart trade. It's experienced as giving something up, a loss, right now, for a stranger, the future you, who barely feels real. And that word, loss, unlocks the third mechanism. Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, the founders of this whole field, showed that losses don't weigh the same as gains. Losing hurts roughly twice as much as gaining the same amount feels good. They called it loss aversion. So the future gain from saving is a faint, distant pleasure, while the present loss of spending less is a sharp sting wired to hurt twice as hard. Your brain isn't being irrational. It's running the maths it was built to run. And here is where it turns physical. When you anticipate buying something you want, your brain's reward circuit lights up. The same dopamine-driven system that responds to food. Researchers like Brian Knutson watched this on a brain scanner. Wanting lights up reward, and the price, the parting with money, registers in a region tied to actual physical pain. Spending is pleasure and pain, fighting in real time. So what happens when you remove the pain? That's exactly what a card does. When you don't physically hand over money, when it's a tap, a number, a tomorrow problem, the pain of paying goes quiet, and the pleasure wins uncontested. The brakes were built into the cash. We spent the last few decades engineering them out. If this is starting to explain a few things, a like genuinely helps these reach the people who need them. There's one more, and it's subtle. Your brain doesn't treat money as one single pool. It files it into mental jars. Richard Thaler called this mental accounting. A pound feels like a different pound, depending on which jar it lands in. Money that arrives as a windfall, a bonus, a refund, gets spent far more freely than money that felt hard-earned, even though every pound is identical. 5 separate mechanisms, all running quietly, all pulling the same direction. Which leaves one last question. Why would a brain be built to do this to you? Because none of this is a malfunction. This is the twist that turns the whole thing inside out. Your brain isn't broken. It's working perfectly for a world that no longer exists. For almost all of human history, there were no savings accounts, no compound interest, no retirement 40 years away. There was now. Food you found, you ate, because there was no fridge and tomorrow was not promised. A reward in front of you, you took, because hesitation meant someone else got it. Loss was lethal in a way gain never was. Losing your share could kill you, while a little extra just meant a little extra. So a brain that grabbed the now feared loss more than it craved gain, and couldn't feel an abstract future. That brain didn't keep your ancestors poor, it kept them alive. And then, in the blink of an evolutionary eye, the world changed and the brain didn't. We built an economy of abstraction, money you can't see, rewards that pay off in decades, an abundance that rewards patience and the long horizon. Scientists call this an evolutionary mismatch, ancient hardware running in an environment it was never designed for. The instinct to grab the now is the impulse buy. The inability to feel the future is the empty savings account. The fear of loss is why savings stings. Every single thing that keeps you broke is a survival instinct that was never switched off, because it was never wrong. It's just 200,000 years out of date. You were never bad with money. You're running perfect software on the wrong planet. So, that number on the screen, the money that came in and somehow vanished, the resolution to save that never survived the month, the thought you kept landing on, what is wrong with me? Now you know, there was nothing wrong with you. The money didn't run through your fingers because you're weak or careless. It left because, at every quiet decision point, a brain built for scarcity was doing precisely what scarcity built it to do. Grab the now, don't feel the future, fear the loss. Feel no pain when the money is only a number. You weren't failing at being responsible. You were succeeding, flawlessly, at being a human being, in the one environment your brain was never meant to handle. And here's why naming it matters. You can't delete the software. The instincts are older than language. They're not leaving. But the moment you can see a mechanism working, it loses some of its grip, because now there's a sliver of you watching it happen, instead of just being carried by it. When the future feels like a stranger, you can make it concrete. A face, a picture, something your ancient brain can actually feel. When the pain of paying goes quiet, you can deliberately let yourself feel it again. None of this is about money, really. It's about catching an ancient instinct in the half second before it spends you. That's the only edge there is. Not more willpower, just sight. So I'd love to know, and I'll read the replies. Which of these did you feel the most? The pull of the now, the future that never feels real, the sting of letting go? Tell me below. And if you want to go deeper into why the brain values a reward now so far above the same reward later, the strange way your mind warps time and value, that's the next thread in this series, waiting for you. Subscribe to Pondara and keep wondering. You were never broken, and you were never bad with money. You're a creature of scarcity, set loose in a world of abundance. And the day you start to see the wiring is the day it quietly stops running you.